want to level up your audio quality from this, if you want to level up your audio quality to this, then you may want to invest in a BOYA mini wireless lavalier microphone, which despite being tiny, does pack a punch. The BOYA mini wireless microphone did come in this box, and as you can see, you can easily hold it in one hand and it's very light. So just some brief information there, letting you know it's 2.4 gigahertz ultra mini wireless microphone. Inside the box you do get this quick start guide, and when opened out you can see is in English and Chinese, and on the reverse you can see it is also in English and Chinese. You also get a USB-A to Type-C charging cable. You also get this case, which no doubt houses the microphones. And on the front there you do have the BOYA logo, and below that you do have the LED light. And I can tell you that this is really light and comfortable to hold. And what it also means is that you can transport this really easily. So you can put it in maybe your trousers, shorts, bag, etc. without having to worry about the weight. The first thing you'll notice when you open the charging case, and that is that you do have 3 items inside. So on the left and the right you do have the microphones, and in the middle you do have the receiver. I will come onto those very shortly. And if you just turn them upside down like so, you'll see that they do not fall out because they are magnetically attached to the charging case. Price-wise, they cost around £45 from Amazon, but I managed to purchase mine for around £33 in light new mint condition using the Amazon warehouse program. So let's start off with the receiver, and as you can see, this one is a USB Type-C, which will fit most Android devices and iPhones from 15 upwards. If you have an iPhone 14 or older, you can still purchase the BOYA mini lavalier microphone, which has the lightning connector, so you are covered. The microphones are perfect, especially if you're a vlogger and you want to post to social media platforms such as TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Snapchat, etc. And because they're a pair, they're ideal for interviewing. BOYA do claim that the range on the BOYA mini lavalier microphone is around 328 feet, which is about 100 meters. And I'm going to be putting that to an outdoor test. Let's now take a look at the microphones themselves, and as you can see, they are tiny. Let's put this one down. So yeah, it's got the foam windshield, and here you've got a clip right there, and then you've got a button there for the noise reduction. And yeah, just make sure you peel this part off, and yeah, really nice. Look, they're really tiny indeed. Close them in my hand, and they're very light indeed. If my memory serves me correctly, I think they come in at around 5 grams each, which is super light indeed. Here I am outdoors, ready to put the lavalier microphone to a test. So as you can see, I've got it on. It's very lightweight and very discreet. Yeah, really like it. And here is the receiver. So it's plugged into the device. One of the great things I like about this is that you know when it's ready to go, because the blue light on the receiver stops flashing. So without further ado, yeah, let's start the test. Here I am, 5 yards away from the camera, and I'm just using the microphone that's built into this smartphone. Here I am again, 5 yards away from the camera, using the BOYA lavalier wireless microphone, and hopefully the sound quality is much better than the previous clip. From this point onwards, I'm going to dispense using the microphone within this smartphone, as you can barely hear me. I'm just going to stick with the BOYA lavalier wireless microphone. Here I am. I know you're thinking, where? Right here. I am now 22 yards away from the camera, and hopefully the microphone and the receiver are working in unison and you can hear me loud and clearly. You do get 6 hours of battery life with the microphone, although what I'm not sure is whether that's 3 plus 3 making 6 for both, or 6 each. Let's take the worst case scenario and say it's 3 hours each for each microphone. I'll take that, and I can be honest with you, I think the most or the longest I've ever used one of the microphones for is maybe an hour and a half, and I've never had any issues. If you put a case on your device, especially if it's thick, you may struggle to use the receiver. In that case, just remove the case and you can use the receiver. With the case fully charged, you should get 30 hours of battery life for both microphones. So even if you're a heavy user, it should easily last you a day. Here I am, 30 yards away from the camera, and hopefully the microphone and the receiver are working in unison, and hopefully you can hear me loud and clear. The BOYA Mini Lavalier microphone is ideal for PCs, laptops, smartphones, tablets, etc., making it really versatile. Here I am 60 yards away from the camera, which I can just about see in the distance, and you probably cannot see me. So when I get back in the studio, I shall see whether it still works at this range. I suspect not, but I'm happy to be proved wrong. Charging the case is really simple. Just connect it to a power source using the cable, and it will start flashing. Once it starts flashing, you'll know that the case is fully charged. Here I am 110 yards away from the phone, and hopefully the receiver and the mic are pairing up, and until I get back to the studio I will not know how this sounds or if it's picking it up at all. And this, by the way, is, I believe, I think maybe just slightly over the recommended range, so we shall see if it lives up to billing. And yeah, what I'll do, just show you a little bit of footage of the distance so you get an idea of how far I am away from the phone. And also in front of me is what I can see. I can't see the phone, but I can see the trees. I've got an idea where the phone is, but I can't see it fully. But yeah, so this is 110 yards. I don't know about you, but based on my test results, it's pretty clear that the BOYA Mini Lavalier microphone has passed the range test. If you're enjoying this video, then a subscribe to the channel below would be sensational, and it is free to do, as my analytics has shown less than 3% of you are subscribed to the channel. Here I am outdoors, ready to put the noise reduction feature to the test. In this particular clip, I'm just using the microphone within this smartphone. May feel some of the breeze around. And in the instruction manual, it does state that if you're using the Lightning receiver, you do have 3 options of noise reduction. So you have weak, medium, and strong. However, if you're using the USB, which I'm using, only need to press it once. So here we go. Here's a clip using the noise reduction feature. To enable it, it is important to press down on the noise reduction button on the microphone. Once you do, the light will turn from blue to green on both the receiver and the microphone. And I'm not sure what the sound is like with the noise reduction feature, but I can tell you there's noise around. There's some kids in front of me playing in the water fountain. There were a few in the background there. There's also some drilling just to my front right there. In fact, let me just spin around so you can see some workmen there. They're building something there. So again, I'm not sure how the sound will be until I get back in the studio. Yep, so this is the clip with the noise reduction feature turned on. Having gone back and played the 2 clips again, I can certainly tell the difference in the audio quality with and without the microphone. Yeah, and I've got to say, I am impressed. But not content, what I'm going to do is conduct 2 further tests with and without the microphone, but in a much more noisier location. Just to put the microphone through its paces, I've come here on a busy road, and you can hear the cars going back and forth. And this is just using the microphone that's built into this smartphone. Now I've got the BOYA microphone on, and I've got the green light on the receiver as well, letting me know that the noise reduction feature is on and is active. And again, right by this busy road, and oh yeah, busy and full of bushes here too. So yeah, again, until I get back in the studio, I would not know how this sounds. And there you have it. Even though the second location was much more noisier than the first, I could still tell the difference in the audio quality with the noise reduction feature on and off. And again, I am happy with the results. I really like this charging case. However, if there's one area that I would like BOYA to improve on, and that is the top half of the case here, because that's as far as it goes. So meaning when you're trying to take these out, and if you have really fat fingers, you feel that this could snap at any moment. It would be nice if it went down further, so it's level to this part here. That way you'll have no problems taking the microphones or the receiver out of the charging case. Now that you know that the microphone and the receiver do work in harmony, especially when I'm some distance away from the camera. But there's one more important test, and that is, what happens if I turn my back to the camera? Will the receiver and the microphone still work? Now this is really important for some of you who maybe have to move away from the camera, turn your back or so. Something that's very useful to know. So let's put it to the test. I'm just going to turn around, walk and talk, and I'm going to see if there is a break between the receiver and the microphone. Again, I won't know the results of this until I get back in the studio and find out. And like with all my reviews, there's no point just giving you the good stuff, give you the bad stuff so you can make an informed decision. So again, till I get back in the studio, I won't know whether there's been a break between the receiver and the microphones. One thing I have noticed is that the charging case does not give you any indication of how much juice is left. What would be really neat is if it had some sort of traffic light system. So for instance, say from 0 to 30% was red, 30 to 60% orange or amber, and from 60% to 100% was green. That would be really cool. There is a feature with the microphone where you can change your voice. So if you press the noise reduction button twice, you will get a male voice. If you press it twice again, you'll get a female voice. And then if you press it twice again, you will go back to your original voice. Just test it out and see what it sounds like.
Here's my voice using the male uncle voice. Until I get back to the studio, I will not know how it sounds.
It is a bit spooky, but I can see how you can use it to play a prank on someone.
Here's my voice again using the female option. It's going to be really strange hearing my voice in a female tone.
Sounds more like a cartoon character to me. It's highly unlikely that I'm going to be using this feature, but you may choose to do so. And the other thing to note is that it's really difficult to know which one you're in. So I never knew whether I was in the male or the female voice. So I had to sort of press it repeatedly. There isn't any indication of which voice you're in, but it's not a big deal. That is the world-renowned BOYA wireless lavalier microphone, which has been put through its paces and certainly gets my seal of approval. But the question is, does it get your seal of approval? Well, that pretty much wraps it up for this episode. My name is Sholo. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in another episode. Ciao.